Time क्या हो रहा है?
It is 2:10, 2:11 actually.
Lunchtime में 4:45 को record करेंगे.
Nice.
Welcome back everybody to another episode of
Film Shilm. Well, what up, everyone?
What was that little disclaimer you wanted to put about the time thing? कि हमने
We're filming back to back.
कर रहे हैं?
Oh, snack. Yeah, okay.
Right.
So this was just shot right like 3 days after we filmed Death of Stalin.
Yeah.
So,
I'm pretty sure a lot of people would have wanted to. Well, not a lot of people, not there yet. But
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there would have
Sometime.
been a few comments on
Yeah.
this film. Unfortunately, we'll see if we can put them in post.
hopefully.
Fix it in post.
We'll fix it later, in fact.
But the film we're discussing today is the
Lunchbox, and
from
I feel like I was a
2013.
bit disingenuous when I told you guys this is a Bollywood film.
Yes,
Yeah.
I want to talk to you about that as well.
Because
It's a French film.
inherently it is, considering it was...
It's just set in India. It's not a Bollywood film.
That's true.
It's
That's
a
true.
French
I'll
film
agree.
set in
It's
India.
a French film?
Oh, actually, no, you're right.
Ooh,
No,
why?
it is a
What
French
makes
film.
it French?
The entire production is French.
Yeah, there's a bunch of
Really?
different French institutions.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And it
I
was
just don't like the
screened
French,
at
but they
Cannes.
did.
The director's
Yeah.
not French,
Yeah.
right? The story's his. He directed it, right? But the production and the distribution and the marketing and all that,
Yeah.
all French.
And it won at Cannes too.
And
So
you can tell if that's true.
It's
you
the
can tell
kind of
because
movie I
funding and
expect to
everything.
see at the European Film Festival.
it is. Yeah,
because
it is.
Cannes is a European festival.
Yes.
Begin?
Oh, yeah.
We'll start
Yeah.
at 4:45.
So
Okay.
because this film is about food and how food brought together
really
two different
loud.
people. We'll also be eating throughout this episode. I'll try to remove the.
I forgot
So it's
about
not
that.
in it.
I'll cover the mug.
No, then we won't
Don't do
hear you.
that.
Oh shit.
So I'll try to make sure that's not in. But we also encourage you guys to be eating with us because don't feel left out.
Yes.
That brings me to my overall thing.
By the
That
way,
the
we
first 10 minutes I started watching.
Mhm.
And overall, the film is entirely about, and it's such a cultural thing, that we as a society, especially the South Asian hemisphere,
Right,
the
right.
globe, we bond and we love each other over food. We say, if you mean something to someone, you say, come over to my house.
Dawat.
Dawat ke liye.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Oh,
Dawats
as
are
a
a big-
reference, we're from Pakistan.
Shout out to the
Yeah, so
subcontinent,
our words are not going to be the same as the film.
Subcontinent, baby.
Subcontinent.
Shout out to
Everyone.
all of us.
So are the words that they're using in the film aren't the same words that we'll be using? Because there's a Hindi.
I actually have a point to
and
Hindi, Urdu.
I have a
mix.
point to say about that as well, which may I bring it up now that you've said it?
Go ahead then.
Okay, so I'll just before you continue your point, it's really interesting. I think you see this in a lot of films prior to 2014. A lot of cinema is inclusive of a lot of languages and culture, especially this film, and especially a lot of other older. So, small examples like Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara, they'll throw in actors of different religious backgrounds or different backgrounds, because India is so multicultural. And older cinema prior to 2014 used a lot of Urdu and Hindi words. There was a lot of overlap. So you could use words
Majority
and it
of the
would be
language.
fine. Now you have to stick to you cannot use certain Urdu phrases because it's seen as too being on the other side of things.
The border, okay.
So you have to. So that's something I've noticed, and you'll notice it when you watch talk shows. You watch this, and I think maybe, and I think honestly, we might be doing the same on this side of the border too, where we stop using more terms that are widely used in India. We prefer to use the terms that are very pure Urdu words, Salis Urdu.
Right.
So stuff like that I've noticed that sadly I think politics, as much as you want to keep it out of art, it'll always infiltrate art
All
somehow.
art is political.
All art
is political, inherently. Inherently, all art is political.
Art as a movement, that's a whole debate of its own. But
Yeah.
coming to the point I
back
wanted to make
your
was
point.
that
Yes.
food
Mm.
is such a heartwarming and bonding experience for nearly everyone in South Asia.
Right.
Right? It's, if you want to bond over someone, you share food.
Right.
And this is something we see later on develop in the film, right? As a very important character development, right? And you invite people to your home for food. You say, I'm going to cook for you, and there's this romanticization of ghar ka khana.
And Ghar Ka Khana means home food.
Nothing hits like the food that your mom makes, for example. No matter how old you are, you will always reminisce your mother's handmade cooking,
Oh,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Your
Absolutely.
father misses his mom's cooking. Your
Yeah.
mother, everyone misses their
That's
mom's
true.
cooking. You're like, oh, they used to make. I know my dad still misses his mom's cooking because he's like, oh, my mom used to make this amazing chicken roast, and he still thinks about it. All the time.
Yeah.
And just going into the film, the dedication and love with which Ila,
Yeah, Ila.
Ila, the character, the secondary protagonist in the film, she is giving her all into her food.
Yeah.
And you can tell the whole scene where it's like, I know it's still an overview thing, but there is so much love within the way she cooks the food. And it is something that completely changes the trajectory and lives of so many people.
Right, right.
Right?
The upstairs neighbor, the
Upstairs neighbor, it changes that. It changes her mom's experience. It
Right.
changes everyone's experience. It even changes her husband's experience,
Yep.
honestly.
when he cheats on her.
And so it's such an underrated thing
Right.
to, to share a meal.
Mm.
To share a meal.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Actually, I ate before this.
that's why he's not having that
I
much.
just.
So before we get further into it, there were some analyses that I made from this, but it did need some context. Do you guys know what neorealism is?
No.
Well, it's a film movement post World War II
Okay.
in Italy, right? You guys obviously film history buffs.
A bit, yeah.
You care about the time after the Second World War.
Mm.
What do you guys have an idea what it was like for people, or the common people in Italy after the Second World War?
I mean, this is again. I'm no expert, but it's probably not maybe the best. I'm assuming.
Precisely.
Maybe there's a lot of rationing. It's
Mhm.
right after the war, so sanctions. This you're
Mhm.
being there's a foreign government sort of making things go for it's a very I wouldn't say it's the best time, but at least the worst is over. Kind
No
of thing.
worse is over. It's like the calm after the storm, but like
Kinda.
how we're supposed
Period
to
of
do it.
recovery.
It's a
Yeah.
period of recovery.
And it is the kind
Financial
of thing
recovery,
where
economic recovery.
a lot of people have to
social.
come together and remember that
Yeah.
a lot of people did in that time, which is that, all right, it's just about survival, and we all are here
Yeah.
trying to survive.
Oh, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
And this idea, right?
Okay.
So a lot of people were on the brink of poverty and they're trying
Yeah.
to get through
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
everyday. But the films that were coming out at that time were like white telephone films. Basically, it was so detached from what people were going through that escapism for them wasn't enough at that point. Because like, how are you trying to show me through your film that everything's all right,
When
where I
know
can
it
barely
isn't.
afford groceries, I can barely afford or gets not even rent a wage at that point because
Yeah.
there's not enough jobs. So there's a bunch of film directors film directors at the time who come together and write a manifesto called Italian Neorealism,
Okay.
where they try to focus on these grounded stories of the average common person of how their lives are. And instead of making it look like this is a Hollywood production on sound stages and we have professional actors and everything like that, you're trying to use as much as possible real life locations where real life people live.
Yeah.
And the way you're supposed to garner the story and place your characters is that they're one cog in this huge machine, and right now we're this some observer watching them from afar, and we're getting a glimpse into their lives. Before this, so sometimes they might just leave frame and you don't see it because right now we only have this small window to look at them. And Bicycle Thieves is one of my favorite films of all time. Follows that, and it's also a neorealist film. Another one I haven't watched it yet, but I need to watch it. Is Rome Open City? That's also a neorealist film. It is about the struggles of the common person and how being seen is to be loved is to be seen, right? Or is it to be seen is to be loved?
Yeah. To be
Yeah.
seen.
And this helps you feel like you're finally being seen by someone. And that's the evocation I believe that realism tries to perform. Simultaneously, as this is happening in Italy, you have a similar movement, social realism, in India, or what's better known as the subcontinent at that point, because a lot Pattar
I mean,
Panchali.
if it's post World War II, it's India, Pakistan.
it's
47.
subcontinent, because the film I'm going to refer to is Satyajit Roy.
Okay.
Ray. He made Pattar Panchali.
Okay.
Legend.
An amazing auteur, and I'll call him an auteur because
Yeah,
he
he's
made
brilliant.
a brilliant work that he's made. The Upper trilogy. It's the Patra Pachali, Upper Jito, and Upper Sansar. I considered this film that we watched today as a neo-realism film,
I see your point.
a social realism, neo-realistic film, simply because of the fact that we are peering into these two people's lives for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
It's that 1 month before Sajjan leaves his work,
Yeah.
and it cuts right as he leaves as well. And you'll see different choices that they made throughout the film,
Yeah.
from the visuals or the way they tell the story.
Mm-hmm.
Is that we're peering into these lives, and hopefully it evocates some idea with us too. Because none of this is on set, right? I don't believe any of this is done on a soundstage.
Oh no,
It's
definitely,
done
definitely.
on real location, either outside or inside of offices or inside of someone's house.
Okay.
And that's what I love about neo-realism, because
It feels.
it feels like something
really-
I could be going through, and it makes me makes me
Yeah.
feel like I've been seen.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to recommend this film to you guys for so long, because I know for a fact that when I was told about it prior to this,
Yeah.
was that this is about two people sharing food with each other, and how that grows into their friendship or their love or their affection for each other. And I was sold then, but then I was told about it's also about melancholy and loneliness,
Yeah.
and like I'm in.
Yeah.
I need to force
biggest-
these guys to watch this as well.
Yeah, the biggest point I had is that I don't consider it a love story. I'll be honest.
That's a good point.
I don't consider it a romantic thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, there is that hint, but that's because they're both so deprived of it that they
Yeah.
misidentify it as romance. Especially because Ila's husband is having an affair, so she
Yeah.
obviously is trying to sort of get back at him in that way, because like, okay, fine, then I am also, I have to go through this as well. But and I do like that Sajjan, I'm jumping a bit ahead, but Sajjan did have a chance to
Meet her.
meet her and follow through on this, what she
Meet at
wanted,
the
what he
coffee, yeah.
wanted, but he didn't.
But
and I
there's a
really loved
reason
that.
why he didn't.
I
Well,
know
hold
why
on,
he didn't,
we'll
but
see
why he
that.
didn't.
We'll
Okay.
see that.
And but what my overall point, what I'm getting to, is that this movie is not about friendship. It's not about romance. It's about companionship. And companionship is so important. And you see how Sajjan is. Now we come to the start of the movie,
Okay.
where how Sajjan is so deprived of companionship.
Right.
Where he, is ignoring the kids in he's chastising
being
them. He's
mean.
mean,
He's being
He's
mean.
chastising
He has
the
no
kids.
social,
He has no social life. And in the trains, he's like complaining about this new generation not giving up seats and all that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
There's no place to sit, and and your father would be very. Was it your father? No, the Auntie G's husband would be very haran to see, very, very, very shocked to see how this world has changed.
Has changed
and,
into.
now everyone's busy, everyone's in their own, concentrated in their own life, and nobody cares about anyone anymore, and that's
Right.
normal. And
Yeah.
I'm okay with that,
Okay.
but he's not okay with that.
Yeah, obviously, it bothers him a lot.
Obviously, it bothers him a lot. And the way he interacts with
Why are you
Sheikh when
eating
they-
that all by yourself? Sorry. Just eat.
Yeah, this is what the film's about, and the way he,
Nimco all by
the way
himself.
he, I don't want to, Jazakallah. The way he interacts with Sheikh when he first meets him, and the way Sheikh is like, "Oh, people are gonna miss you when you leave," and he's like, "Nobody knows I'm even
No one
here."
gives a crap, man.
Yeah, nobody even knows I'm here, And his lack of companionship, and then we see this something he yearns for, which he ignores. On his terrace, he's smoking, and he sees the window of
The
the family
family
having
across.
dinner. And I think the window is very important, the closing and the opening of the window, because it's not that little girl who goes and closes the window. It's Sajjan closing the window,
It's his window that closes.
because he watches. No, it's not his window that closes.
She closes. Like
the
she
kid
physically
closes the
it.
window
Yeah.
of her house, but Sajjan sees them having dinner, having a family. There's close-up shots of food.
Yeah, I see
Right,
that.
How they're all sitting at the dining table, and
Right,
sorry, I forgot about this, but like there is a certain respect and almost a mythology surrounding a communion or sitting together to eat.
Right.
You don't eat alone. The respect, and this is like you hear this often, but you sometimes forget it, which is the respect of the dastarkhan,
Yeah.
right? Dastarkhan ki qadar karo,
Yes.
right? Which is respecting the dastarkhan. The dastarkhan is basically a mat where you sit together and you eat on the floor.
Yes.
And I remember for my short film, Tethered, I was very insistent that we use a dastarkhan for this exact reason. And in that story, which is that there is a family sitting together, but they're so detached from one another that the dastarkhan takes disrespect at this. I don't know if you've seen it.
I haven't got a chance to. You finally posted on YouTube?
No, I didn't, but I'll show it to you guys. But there is a dastarkhan in it, and it does take disrespect at the fact that there is a family sitting to eat, and they are disconnected from each other.
Right.
Which is a very big theme in that. And to me, that's something like we see that in this film. And when Sajan is looking at that window, coming to the point, when Sajan is looking at the window and he sees this family sitting together, having food, passing plates along, and this little girl who he chastised for playing in the street earlier, she just closes the window. It's not, because we see the window change throughout the film. And it happens every time Sajan has a different character arc. As the movie ended, a lot of people, I'm sure, would be like, what happened next?
Yes.
And I'm like, immediately when the movie ended, my first thought I thought was, that's how he ended it. And then I realized, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Exactly. It does not matter.
There's two types of storytelling, I say. One is characters do something because the plot demands it.
Right.
The other is the plot changes because of characters doing something. Have you seen Arcane?
No.
Have you seen Arcane? No. First of all,
my sister's telling me to watch it. I haven't watched it.
Secondly, there are two things. First of all, when a character is just doing things because the plot is saying, okay, now you go from A to B, now you do this, now you do this, now you do that.
Okay.
It's just the character going through the motions.
Yeah.
Right? And it's not a character-driven story.
No.
Then there is characters that are in a regular setting. Their actions lead to their next circumstances, and their choices then lead to the next. Their action, the characters are driving the plot forward.
Okay.
And that is the type of movie this is.
That's true. 100%.
They are not the kind of character. The plot, the world around them is not making them do things. The only thing I can say that the world did was mishap in the delivery.
Yeah.
The only thing.
Okay.
That's a good point. The one you just meant. The characters are driving the story forward.
And this is a completely, the character arcs, it's very clear. Ila and Sajan, they go through from A to B. And this is what I tell my students as well, that your character has to change. I saw this wonderful example on another way of writing two stories, which is how do you write a protagonist? Is either the protagonist changes from A to B, or the protagonist changes the world around them from A to B.
Right. So what do you see in Sajan?
In Sajan, he changes.
He changes.
And in Ila, she also changes.
Right.
But Ila also changes the world around her.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Oh my God.
So a core tenet of neorealism is the fact that it's completely character driven. It's meant to make you feel like the character is dragging you along with their story as well.
Yeah.
You are the observer, right?
You are
just
more
happen to be
invested
there.
in their choices than you
Exactly.
are in their actions.
I have just a little fun fact about
Go.
the Dabbawala system. The Dabbawala
I wanted to
system.
talk about that as well, but you go on.
Top Gear fan. There's a special where they go to India. And it's the first time because I'm not Indian. So, and also I think Islamabad's a city where even if we did have, like, even if
Most
it
is
was
about a dox society second.
What?
This is the sector we live in Islamabad. This is the street and this is the exact room. Please find us.
I'm in a undisclosed city. Okay, no.
No, we did not kidnap this man.
Keep going.
So, thing is, I never knew about this system, this Dabbawala system.
Same.
They had it back in the day, I'm sure, in bigger cities like Karachi, Lahore, in Pakistan, but not very prevalent here, very prevalent in India. And Top Gear taught me about this. Funny enough, the white man, the English, taught me about my own culture.
The Oriental. The Oriental is something like
But
this.
they did it in a phenomenal way because they didn't do it looking down on someone. So they explained that this Dabbawala system, do you know the failure rate or the rate of a mistake it makes? It's one mistake in every 6 million deliveries. That is.
So we got that story of the one mistake.
And it
So
is
even the guy who's doing the delivery is like, Harvard se log aaye, chalo
Exactly, yeah,
mistake hota hi nahi.
No, that's good.
And the first 5 minutes I started watching and I was like, okay, she makes the lunch, it goes to this guy, it goes on the train. And in the first 5 minutes, I'm sorry, but it sort of threw me out. I was like, that's not real. No way.
But it is
So
real.
somebody would pick that up and eat it.
So,
Like, I refuse to believe that's real. Either that or my own society has let me down so much.
so that the authentic, like the reason even that auntie who lives above them was like, oh, these dabbe wale, they don't make a mistake. It's true because they don't. It's a failure. It's what they have a
1 in
failure rate
60 million.
That's insane.
0.0004%.
No, even smaller than that.
Even smaller, because it's 1 in every 6 million deliveries.
So the research
they
he
make-
mentioned is real.
And they make 200,000 deliveries
Yeah.
every single day or every single month. But it's insane.
No, it makes sense if it's day, considering we saw 2 in the one train. We saw 3
Wait, I wrote this. Hold
pallets
on.
lock.
I've written
They're
this
all
somewhere.
full.
They make every day. They make
Yeah.
200,000 deliveries every single day for a price, mind you, of less than £4 a month.
Per dabba.
Yeah, so you were
that's
paying
incredible.
them for the whole month.
For the entire logistics structure and the infrastructure.
You were just paying them less than £4 a month. I don't know what the current price is now, but that's the.
incredible.
So it is an extremely intricate system. No computers.
I had absolutely no idea this system
yeah.
even existed.
Yeah,
It is
so
beautiful.
there's
It is
no
so beautiful.
there's no computers, there's no fancy logistics. It's just people with a bunch of numbers written on top, and they just know where to go. And it's not even dedicated buses, it's just public trains and bicycles. That's it.
Which is awesome, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about that one mistake in 6 million. As we both mentioned, Mahir and I both mentioned, this is a very visual film. It expects you to be constantly watching it.
Oh yeah.
And if you're on your phone, you're gonna miss a lot of things.
And there's something I noticed.
Exactly, right?
Twice,
right? So this is right in the beginning. It's the first time he gets their dabba.
Put your big ass hands down. I can't.
So
see
sorry.
I'm peering over. I'm like, what?
So this is the dabba he gets,
Yes.
and this is just placed on his desk. He's
Yeah.
expecting it to be the same as it always
Yeah.
is. Do you want to know why that mistake exists and
Why?
where it happened?
Aw.
Do you see it in front of him?
It's the green.
Right here is
Yeah.
on the right side.
The
Yeah.
same packets. That's why he doesn't.
That's why they got it confused, right? It's the same packets from
Same
this shop.
packets. That's why he doesn't notice anything when he opens it. It's only when he opens the tin that he realizes something's up here.
Also, not. Okay.
Even the husband.
Look at his surprise on his face. Very
good.
And the husband doesn't even notice, obviously, because he knows that
He looks at
I
this.
have this at home. So it's the same packet.
Also,
That's where the confusion starts.
I love how this movie is so good at setting up at how, I don't know the English word for surreal, like he's just a miserable. He's just
Senile?
Snide.
He's just a snide, miserable
Yeah.
Grinch.
Grinch.
Grinch is a good
'Cause
term for it.
He
Grinch is a
walks
good
in
term
and the
for it.
first thing, like, oh, what is he like?
What
As
does
he
he
walked
want?
up,
Yeah,
he's like, okay, what did he want? What was his problem? And
And
the
he's
guy
caught by
was
surprise.
when he complimented the food. So,
Even Sajan is caught by surprise. Acha tha.
yeah.
You see it in his eyes. In 5
He
minutes,
was
like,
shocked.
wow, this is good, man.
Yeah.
So it's great. Again, I mean, I'm sitting between two.
No.
filmy boys.
You're
But
go on.
just setting up characters, it's done so
Yes.
well, so subtly, and
Excellently.
it's just I can't stop praising this film
Ah.
at every step and everything it does, and it just does it
And that's
so
the
well.
beauty of this film. The way it shows you what this character isn't.
Yeah.
It's a show, don't tell.
Yeah.
And again,
It's how the world reacts to
a
him.
lot
or
of
how
that
other people are
credit
reacting
goes to
this.
Irfan Khan himself.
His
Rest
acting's
in
really
peace.
good.
Love
Rip in
him.
peace.
What
Rip
a
in peace.
phenomenal actor! This man, I mean, he go down in history as one of the best.
I agree.
One of the best. Classic.
And I think that's the thing. He can play like in. It's a really stupid example, but he can
You're
play
gonna say
like
Jurassic
really,
World?
Yeah, because he can play really like eccentric, like oh my god, I'm a billionaire. Like, and then he can also play just these really like
Mundane.
dull but graspingly dull, phenomenal characters. That even though it's a really this is a guy who you just without any second.
You don't remember ever.
He's
Yeah.
a very unmemorable. But he is like your eyes are never off the screen.
You're a
for a
government
second.
officer. What would you remember?
Yeah.
So, when we start this film,
When we see Sajan going back home.
when we going back home, right? We see that it focuses on this one guy
Yeah.
for a
Who's
while,
that, Hussain?
It's the
We'll
husband.
see.
I know it's the
Yeah,
but we
yeah.
don't know that yet. He's just focused.
We don't know who he is.
Effectively, it's so misleading because these two children that are passing through, right?
Yeah.
We think the focus is on them,
Yeah.
and he just happens to be here.
He happens to
Maybe.
be here.
Yeah, exactly, right? And that's what I'm talking about. Neo-realism.
Subconsciously, because I recognized him when he walked.
Oh,
home.
let's just
when
keep
he
watching the film.
entered Ila's.
Let's keep watching it. So because the way the kids are moving, right? They're slowly coming out. and the focus stays on them and the camera stays on them. But we spend so long on that one focal point until it finally comes.
Yeah.
Paridesi.
But what I want to say is that subconsciously, we are not looking at that guy.
No.
We are not looking at that.
We're looking at the
listening
kids.
to the kids. We're looking for
Yeah.
where is that coming from
Yeah.
while watching the film. But we remember the guy
Because
Yeah.
because of this.
Also-
And it's because of the way they kept him more colored than the rest.
Exactly,
Go
the
back to
color
the
is different,
composition.
yeah.
You
I'm wearing
guys
the
go
same,
back to
I'm wearing
the
the same pants as him.
so look at
Notice
this.
how everyone is
It's
dull
more of
and
a dull
desaturated,
color.
and he's the only
Yes.
one colored.
With the green shirt, right?
And the way they make sure that our eyes do divert there is they add a bit of orange and blue there as
the
well.
contrast works.
So that the balance, the seesaw of color, it's
that's
tilting this way.
So interesting.
they've put all the color clothed
In the
people, the
corner.
red, the blue, the green, and the orange on one side. So automatically, subconsciously, our brain
Yeah.
is looking there because color attracts. And over there, it's all white and black.
And then there's also composition-wise, they're all cut off. These are the only people we can actually see.
Exactly.
So there's so many different elements coming in. It's a visual medium. It's a visual medium.
And it's a shot that is not something you're supposed to focus on, but you do focus on. How do you make your audience remember something without them knowing they're even looking at it?
That's actually really interesting. You know, it's the only other time I can remember off the top of my head. You see Now You See Me, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wait, yeah, it's the magician.
Yeah,
one,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
So the
first one.
opening scene where he does a little card fan, and the camera like split second stops at number 7, and
For a bit longer.
for slightly longer. So you're also thinking of number 7. So when they're like, "Oh, I can read your mind," and then the building shows 7. It's really interesting because for maybe it didn't work on everyone, but for majority it's like, "Whoa, that's actually really cool." Because
Yeah, yeah.
so it's like a thing where you
Exactly.
don't know it wants you to focus on something without you knowing you're focusing. on
Exactly.
something. It's actually really cool.
That's,
Dang.
I love filmmakers who do that.
You're utilizing what makes film so unique.
Yeah,
And you really need to understand people.
that's true.
You really need to understand how people think. You need to
Exactly.
be amongst the people. If you're cut off from the world,
Yeah.
if you're somebody who is not of the people and just has the money and is like,
I'll just
go
make a movie. I mean, Orson
you know?
Welles does that. But
and usually they're very, like you said, in the pre-neorealism,
By
they're
telephone
so
film,
cut off from what's really happening that you cannot identify with
it makes it harder to identify, right?
It does, but a lot of those people were also doing it, maybe not because they were cut off, but because they were trying to sell an ideal, maybe. Like the whole
No,
point is
But
like,
then why are all the
Like,
most
this-
successful Godzilla films the ones that have the human stories attached to it?
that's true. No, but
Shin Godzilla, Godzilla Minus One.
Godzilla Minus One. Both of those are my favorite.
Those are inherently human stories and depict how bad Godzilla
Godzilla
is.
is not the main character in it. Godzilla is just a force of nature. Those
It
are
doesn't
really
matter
good, you should.
because you should.
in the American versions, Godzilla is treated like an Avenger, like he's a
Yeah.
superhero, right?
yeah,
Like, oh no, something is attacking. We gotta call Godzilla. Let him fight the monsters for us.
yeah,
In these, and both of these, Shin Godzilla and Godzilla Minus One, are Japanese made.
Japanese films, and they're
And they're
inherently human based.
Godzilla is a genuine like
Terror.
It could be a boulder falling off a building, a mountain. It could be a building collapsing. That's Godzilla, a force of nature that you cannot comprehend,
okay,
and they do a really good job at it.
okay.
Let me change it then. A force of destruction
Okay.
that will end everything. Because it's what was Godzilla other than the analogy for
Big
The atomic
bomb? So for the U.S.
because the entire Godzilla story
Not-
was Japan is destroyed by this giant monster. Did you not know this?
Oh, I
In
just
the
I
US.
just saw a story of a big lizard man.
Understand it. In the U.S., because of what the atomic or the nuclear
That's why they
tested,
made Godzilla
it
look
made
cool.
heroes. The U.S. because that make them heroes, but because Japan the Japanese know
The
inherently
destructive power.
of the nuclear bomb is that the nuclear radiation creates enemies or destruction, whereas in the U.S. the nuclear destruction creates heroes.
So we're
Look, that's why when we tell you art is political, you have to understand it. Okay. Do you have a scene?
Well, I remember them as you go.
Okay.
Well,
Do you have a scene?
I don't really have
anything.
a scene, but I do have something to talk about, which was another interesting thing about like the depictions of different cultures.
Mhm.
Irfan Khan's character, you can very easily tell is a Christian. His name is Sajan Fernandez. Sajan Fernandez.
Sajan.
But
Sajan.
there's a better understandings of it in his own house. You see pictures of Jesus Christ,
Oh, well,
small, tiny pictures throughout
Oh
his
yeah,
house.
I actually didn't catch
I couldn't.
that.
I didn't clip it. I didn't take a photo of it. But in the near the end, where you see him sitting down and smoking, and you just see the window, and he's just behind the door, and you can see the smoke on the right next to the door.
Yeah.
Is a cabinet, and there's a one photo frame of Jesus in the halo.
Okay.
I haven't seen it.
And the family across are also Christian,
So-
because they have the cross in their
So
living
that's the thing I wanted to talk about. And again, it's
I
that
didn't notice
it's
this.
the
And you have to.
multiculturalism of the subcontinent, and especially India. The thing is, he's living in what is very clearly a sort of like Christian-dominated neighborhood of Mumbai,
Yeah.
a colony, a Christian colony. So we have those in big cities in
F6.
Pakistan and India. You'll have them in Karachi. You'll have Christian colonies.
We have one here.
You'll have one in
Yeah,
Islamabad.
F6
You'll have one in
Yeah.
Lahore. You'll have and same thing. And a lot of those people, like Christians, will obviously, I believe, prefer to go to convent schools, and even Muslims as well. And you realize, so I have friends who used to go to convent school, and I know people who've grown up going to convent school. They have a very specific way of speaking English. It's a very specific, and it's the same very specific if you hear the way he speaks English, and they
No
prefer-
way.
So it's because again, a lot of the convent schools, even the ones here, are run by nuns.
Right,
And a lot of the nuns, if they're not the older generation of nuns, they're nuns who come from the US or they come from the UK. And when you teach, I'll give him the thing. So when you teach, a lot of it is being taught in English. So if you go to like, I'm going to give a very weird niche example, but like there's a very specific sort of convent English where anyone who's watching has either been to a convent school, knows a friend who's gone to convent school. Just listen to the way they speak English sometimes. It's a very specific niche accent they have. And what I love about that is it shows, earlier when we did Death of Stalin, remember I had that whole conversation about languages, where I
Right,
feel
right,
like
right. Yeah.
here, even though it's a film, as you've mentioned, it's a French production.
Right.
They could have very easily had most of this film in English
Right.
to cater to Western
Right.
audiences.
Right.
Right.
And they chose scenes where Mr. Sajjan is speaking to other people in his colony. He speaks in English. because that's his language of comfort, because he's probably gone to school.
And he knows those kids go to those schools as
goes
well.
to convent schools.
Yeah,
because
he
it's a
speaks
Christian
mostly
colony.
English with those kids.
He prefers
Yeah.
English, and
With
then
those
when
kids.
it's other people he meets at workplace
Share
and this,
and all.
he
Even
switches
Illa,
to
he
Hindi.
doesn't write it in Hindi or
He's corresponding in English. She's corresponding in Hindi.
Oh, you're right.
His preferred
I
language.
forgot about that.
And
God,
this
that's
isn't
beautiful.
this isn't a fixed rule, obviously.
forgot about that.
Yeah, this isn't a fixed rule. Obviously, there's people. It's like I've got friends who are Muslim who went to convent school.
Right, no, but Sajjan
It's
Fernandez.
that
makes sense.
education system that was left
Right.
over by the Brits, and we still use it on both sides of the border. And it brings such a unique culture to that in the heart of Mumbai or in the heart of Karachi, you will have pockets of people who speak very grammatically correct English to the point where it would be the same quality or level of grammar as you'd find abroad, or you'd find. And
Wow.
Also, one point I would like to sorry to interject, but like when sometimes he's a bit like annoyed at Sheikh,
Yeah.
he speaks in English.
Yeah, we're to him, right?
Yeah?
Yeah.
And Sheikh doesn't really know how to respond to that.
Wow, no.
Yeah.
I got a Owen Wilson. Wow. Wow.
So I loved that little.
that's really
That's how
cool.
authentic this. Like the whole thing you realize. It's just
Right.
they're not. It is exactly how it would.
Because that was one of my my complaints are always going to ask that why is there so much English in the film, but that explains it. My
That explains
gosh,
it really, really well. And it
Wow.
ties to neorealism, as he says.
That it is. This is how the world actually is.
that's incredible.
Yeah.
That's absolutely incredible.
That was my point. I just wanted to.
That's
throw in
an
there.
amazing point.
No, well, I would have never known.
I never noticed that.
I would have never known because I didn't grow up here. So it makes it more difficult for me.
Yeah.
But we both have, all three of us had different things, like different life experiences growing up,
Yeah.
and
We've
just
had
it
different
never
sort
crossed.
of-
It never crossed paths with you.
Yeah.
But it has crossed paths with you. It's incredible.
All
So
right.
my next one, my fourth, is the painter scene. This is more of my shit tied to neorealism because this fundamentally,
I wish we saw the painting. We never did.
and that's okay
I mean, I kind of wish we saw it.
because it's enough for, and I believe it's enough for us to know that he saw himself in it.
Oh, stop it. You're going to make me cry again.
It's enough for
Hi,
us.
darling. Don't
Oh,
cry.
my God. What a line, man.
Okay, so let's watch it.
Yeah, let's watch this clip. I was
Okay.
looking forward to what you have to say about
won't
it.
believe what happened to me yesterday. In the evening, as I was walking to the station, with Sheikh and I worked together, we were walking. 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 We w I felt like stopping to look at a painter's works. All his paintings are exactly the same. But when you look close, real close, you can see that they're different. It's slightly different from the other. A different car here, a different man daydreaming on the bus there, a stray dog gallantly crossing the street, whatever catches the painter's fancy on that day. And in one of them, I saw myself. At least I think it's me.
He's
And
got
I
it.
treated myself to an auto rickshaw. The old houses of boys I used to play with when I was a child are gone now. My old school too. And some things are still the same. The old post office is still there. And the hospital where I was born and where my parents died and my wife. I think
Yeah.
I want to rewatch this film.
Okay.
So earlier in the film, you see him cross. Well, the first time when he's with Sheikh, he bought that cigarettes out the store.
He does cross the painter.
He crosses by it,
The painter.
but
yeah.
he hadn't changed enough to be able to notice it yet.
Yeah.
I kept that entire clip when he goes into the rickshaw and goes home. It was the first time he started noticing the world around him too.
Yeah.
Inherently
His
showing the
eyes
fact
have
of how much
opened.
he's changed.
Can I also say
He actually cares now, right?
the thing? I love the progression of what these notes are doing to him, and your point of like he finally has someone to just talk. It's that companionship comes
Companionship, it's talking.
back. I don't know if you've noticed this. Maybe I'm reading into it too much, but every little thing he looks like. Even Sheikh mentions that you're looking 10 years younger.
Yeah, I want to say I did this deliberately. When the film ended, I went back to the original just to make to the first few frames just to make sure I wasn't crazy. He starts coloring his mustache. He's combing his hair better, and he colors his hair.
He's wearing
He's wearing
brighter
better
shirts.
clothes.
He's wearing brighter shirts. The
Suits.
scenes are brighter. The scenes look. Those lunchtime scenes have a lot more light in them.
Yes.
He's smiling. That he's treating himself to an auto rickshaw. It might cost a few extra, but he doesn't mind spending the little extra because he's doing little things that bring him joy, and she's doing the same thing. You notice when she initially first gets the note, she's just reading it in the kitchen. Over time, she makes a
drinks
cup of tea, and
sits
it's like a
down.
thing she does. She sits with her tea, she reads the note, she enjoys. So they're both those characters. Finally, that it's so well done. Where just everything they do, it shows how happier and
Yeah.
they're just it's
It's
lovely.
just,
Progression's perfect.
like you said, to be seen is to be loved.
And that's
You
the
know?
thing, because they're living such monotonous lives as well.
Yeah.
That a
It's the same
little
day
bit
every
of
day.
change just brings like a little bit of break in routine.
Like, what are you craving more? Is it love that you're craving, or is it intention?
And you know, that's I think a big question. So the scene, I don't know if you clipped it, the scene where she's waiting for him at the restaurant and
No, I didn't clip
okay,
that.
so
It
there's-
broke
there's-
my heart, man. I couldn't.
I know. There's that scene. Even though you can tell how nervous he is, he's for the first time wearing a tie in the whole film when he has to go
Oh
meet
my
her.
god, you're right.
And then he notices the little
The little
thing
hair.
where
Then
he
hold
hasn't
on.
properly.
Oh,
Okay,
shit.
he's got that scene clipped.
I really hope to God
I think you.
no.
No, I don't think
You
you,
don't
have,
have it. You don't
brother.
have it, Ali.
I thought I wanted to.
Ah.
Though I think it's still stuck on my desktop.
But there's that little thing where he notices he hasn't done a full shave, so he goes back and what he notices we can talk about later. But
That broke my heart.
that really,
that broke my heart.
but I
Because I knew exactly. Like
actually, you
that,
know, if we said it,
Let's
let's just talk about it.
Let's
So-
talk about that. Why he didn't go.
So
Yeah, he enters the bathroom and he realizes it reminds him of his grandfather
Grandfather.
because it has that old man sort of smell, which is sort of a
Actually,
distinct sort of thing.
it
It's
is.
a real thing. And he realizes, my grandfather's not been here in years. And like this is...
I don't remember when I grew old. Maybe it was when I realized.
actually, you know, I'll tell you something. I think the point. So even before they made that because that monologue comes
After
after
she sends
we-
an empty...
so.
And, he writes it
But
down.
I knew the
What a nice
second,
move on her part. That was very clever.
I'll tell you the second I realized he wasn't going to go to that cafe was when the guy in the bus said, "Uncle Bertrand, like Uncle, take a seat,"
See everything. Yeah.
because he initially mentions in one of his letters that he's just like, "Oh, kids these days,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
they
yeah,
don't
yeah,
respect, they don't give
How
their
does that
seats
tell
up
you he
anymore."
won't go?
So when the guy says "Uncle," referring that you're an older guy, the younger generation, it's like because he knows she's already young, she's younger than him.
Yeah.
So it hit him in that moment that I'm an old guy. I'm Buddha. I'm probably like I could be someone's granddad, and I think that hit him. And I realized in the moment he's not gonna go because he's gonna be too. It's gonna break his heart for him to go face her. She's gonna see an old man, and her reaction is gonna kill him more than him not going.
Everything compounds.
I would counter that. I would have a different analysis of the young guy saying Uncle aap baith jaye, which is that Sajan has put Ila on a pedestal that you're the only person who understands me.
Okay.
And you're the only one who I
That's
can
a
talk
good
to.
interpretation
And you're
of
the
it.
only one who is different from everyone else. And when that young person does that, we get to my point, is that I think in that moment he sort of realizes maybe it was me all along, and maybe companions are all around me. So that sort of that romanticization that they both are doing. Oh, you're the only one kind of.
That can get me.
They don't actually say that, but you can tell that you're the only
The way
one
they
who
write
gets
to
me.
each
Can I
other.
give one
And I think
rebuttal?
that sort of, for him, that sort of jars him. No, Sheikh bhi hai. You know, my boss is pretty nice to me.
He
He
cares.
seems almost like very friendly. Companionship has been around him. I mean, Sheikh, the first time he comes, he's like, I'll be your companion. He's like, piss off. And I think he realizes through that young man saying, Uncle aap baith jaye. I didn't realize the age one. That's also a good analysis.
Okay.
Like, these are both different analyses.
Okay.
God knows what the director had in mind. Probably something
Yeah.
else completely different. But that's the way I saw it.
The reason I understand what Hussein's coming from, because in the monologue he brings it back up.
Yeah.
We see it twice. The Uncle Ji baith jaye.
Yeah, we do see it twice.
He says it once we first see the
Before the letter.
setup for why he feels he's old, and then again in the monologue just to reiterate that point of what the catalyst for it.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't. Your interpretation
it's
is
not
good too,
a-
because it's an incredible interpretation, because all these things have always been with him throughout the entire
he was
film.
just blind to it.
He didn't
shut it
want it.
out.
Yeah, ever since
Like
his
the
wife
kids
died, right?
come and say, Uncle
Ball de
Fernandez,
de,
ball
yeah.
de de. He could have interacted with those kids.
Yeah.
And all it took was him, okay, you can play here, just don't break any windows, to actually get away from a kid. That's how close companionship was to him that he ignored.
What was your rebuttal?
My only rebuttal to that, like it's not really a rebuttal because it wasn't like so.
Counterpoint,
It was a counterpoint. Where I think the age thing is still a thing. Where it was the first time in a long time he was actively getting ready and trying to look younger, cleaner shape, and the fact that someone still called him an old man. That realization hit him when he's like, I am an old man. Like
Okay,
she's
I can
never
see that.
gonna.
That's rough.
She's
That's
never
rough.
gonna accept me.
Yeah.
And we don't know if she does it because again, we don't know if they
Yeah,
eat.
and ironically, it's so funny. We saw the same movie, but I was not picking up the points that he picked up. But to me, it wasn't that Sajan thinks I'm not good enough for you. To me, it was you have so much life to live. What are you doing?
Let's talk about Sheikh.
Right. So Sheikh is something that is sort of like I'm forgetting the exact terminology for it.
People pleaser.
No, he is the antithesis to Sajan
Okay.
because he has truly been alone his entire life.
I thought the orphan thing was made up.
No.
No.
I didn't get it then.
That was an
He
interesting joke.
said कि मेरी माँ कहती है ना, and he says, "My माँ, you're an orphan." And he goes, "Oh, no, I am an orphan." But it feels good to say मेरी माँ कुछ कहती है. Gives
Seriousness.
what I say more weight.
Yeah.
Okay, I
And
get it
people
now.
take it more seriously.
Okay, I
That's
get
what
it.
he said.
Okay, I get it.
That's why
Really
Sheikh,
cute.
Sajan is like, you're right.
I get it.
मेरी माँ कहती है.
It's also beautiful. So adorable.
I
So,
really.
For a second, I was like, whoa, what plot twist has happened here? What has he let slip? Because Nawazuddin Siddiqui has in recent times been played such, he's the actor for Sheikh. And he's played
Another phenomenal actor, by the way.
amazing.
Nawazuddin
And it was so
Siddiqui.
strange seeing him so young because I'm used to seeing him play older.
Yeah.
Like he's
This is
sort of
2013,
today's
it's really
Irfan
He
Khan.
plays very serious,
Very serious, almost very
dark
roles.
Really?
And-
Yeah. Bollywood's been banned in
so
my house.
let me. Can I just
Yeah,
get a
yeah.
little? So the thing is, Nawazuddin Siddiqui is one of those. Again, it's a great testament to just
Acting.
overall acting, great acting, and a lot of perseverance. Because Nawazuddin Siddiqui, without being very real, in the subcontinent we have certain beauty standards, and we
Right,
have
right.
certain standards attributed to
Skin whiteness.
certain skin tones and castes and where you're from and whatever. And Nawazuddin Siddiqui does not fill a lot of those. He's not a Salman Khan or a Shah Rukh Khan or a Hrithik Roshan.
Ironically,
or he's
neither does Irfan Khan fit those.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
But he doesn't fit the big Bollywood. He's not a Saif Ali Khan or any of those guys, right? So a lot of people initially, when Nawazuddin started doing his acting, a lot of people said, you're never going to be cast in these. You're never going to be cast as a main character because you're not tall enough. And he actually says this in the film where the woman he wants to marry, the father-in-law is like, you're not tall, you're really dark-skinned, and what was the third thing? Like, you have no family or something like that.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great catch for the man himself, that a lot of people downplayed him and they underestimated him. And he had some directors really gave him a shot, and kudos to them. And then he took that shot and ran with it with his acting skills. And I think one of his films, Gangs of Wasseypur, really put him on the map. This movie, I think he plays one of those more. It's not a depressing role. It's just like he's playing a character. He's a little annoying in the beginning to begin with.
He's the most warm character. He is. There were two moments where I thought Sheikh is a sort of serving as an antagonistic figure. One was when he didn't show up on time.
That's true.
You're right, 4:45.
He even looked at Sajjan, and Sajjan looked at him.
And then he just looked away.
He was talking to
someone else. The next day he was like, I was there. Chale Queen. You know? And then there was the part where he let that slip, Meri maa kehti hai. I thought, whoa.
That's it.
What's happening here? And then the third point was when Sajjan said, I have a girlfriend, Ila. I thought, ye use karega iske again.
Huh.
Sheikh also says, sir, I am an orphan. This is my name. I chose this name myself. I have taught everything myself.
Yes. I'll teach this to myself too.
Yeah, he is a determined.
I love that one moment. I loved about him so much.
Yeah. And that was a moment where Sajjan is also like, this man is also alone. Thinking that this man is like him when he is not like him.
Yeah.
Because in his loneliness, he finds joy in companionship.
Regardless.
Right?
He's cutting vegetables on the documents. He's cutting for his wife.
Making food for his wife while also working.
Yeah.
Which also I found adorable.
Adorable. And he says he's a hard worker because they're like, oh, this is an accountant from Saudi Arabia. He goes, I was a cook, I was an accountant, I was a cleaner, I was this, all of it. And he's not bothered by it.
Yeah.
It was what his life was.
Right?
So
and
I wanted to talk about...
It's the most... He goes from... Because, again, I'm used to Nawazuddin playing certain roles.
Yeah.
And...
So you were expecting him to do something?
I was expecting him to be an antagonist.
Right.
100% I was... And there's a point where the boss calls him into the office. And you see Nawazuddin already there. Okay. I was like, this is Nawazuddin, Sheikh already there. I was like, oh, he's turned him in for something.
Okay.
He's found some evidence of something and he's turning him in. Every point, I think it's just, I'm not used to seeing him like this.
I have one thing to say
He's got an archetype almost.
Before we get to the point you want to talk about, which is my take on why Sheikh's character is in the film. And I think why his character is in the film is he is our gauge for how Irfan Khan's character
is so disconnected.
How he's disconnected and how he changes. So the initial interaction was very typical of what Irfan Khan's character was at the beginning of the film.
Right.
Which is very, okay, don't interrupt me now, come after lunch. And then he's very punctual, waiting. And he's also hoping he doesn't come.
Yeah, he was definitely hoping he doesn't come.
That's the beauty of he's hoping he doesn't come, but he also is annoyed that he's not come. And then he's just like, the second it hits 4:46, he's like, done. He packs up and he leaves. And then as the movie progresses, you can gauge how Irfan Khan's character is changing with how he interacts with Sheikh.
He smiles the most with Sheikh.
So he's smiling, so he's opening up. He's letting in on where he lives for the first time. Then why don't you come over to mine for lunch?
Right after his wedding, right?
The fact that he initially did not want anything to do with anyone. And now he's being someone's witness to a wedding. Which was also a lovely scene.
But let's talk about that.
One thing I want to say about how Sheikh's presence and how you said he gauges how he is changing. And that the first time he offers him food is not intentional, is not out of actual care. It's just like, you're sitting, might as well. He's kind of also hoping he says no.
Yeah.
Right? And he doesn't give it to him. He just says, cow. And Sheikh takes it himself and then starts putting it.
Can I say
after that, a little while later, a few events later, Nawazuddin opens the food, he's eating it, and he puts a tin in front of him and says, have.
Sajjan puts it in front of Sheikh.
And then the last time they share the food, Sajjan does not start eating. He puts the plate in front of Sheikh.
And tells him to
I
eat.
love that.
All the food in front of him says cow while he's reading.
Again, Sheikh is the gauge of how he's changed. And you see, just one very quick thing before we move on. I know you want to talk about this point. So there's this one little monologue piece where I think the first chitti or the second letter he writes to Ila, where he talks about when your food was very spicy, he's like, but it's okay because I had 2 bananas after lunch.
And the banana talk.
And then he mentions how some people can only afford to have 2 bananas because it's really cheap and it's really filling. And the next scene, you see Sheikh walk up with 2 bananas. And that hit me a little bit because that probably means Sheikh is one of those millions of people who can only really afford 2 bananas for lunch. And
even if it only costs 4 pounds a month.
No, I mean that was the debate.
Exactly.
But the whole thing is like he can't even like. Maybe he didn't think it was worth, like the only time he actually says put me down for one of the boxes after he tastes, because the food was that
good.
Yeah, that he was like, I'm willing to spend money on this for this food. But it's just one of those scenes, and I noticed every time he joins him for food, he brings him an apple and a banana.
First starts with 1 apple, then it becomes 1 apple and a banana, then at one point it becomes 2 apples as well.
It's his way of like, okay, you take this, I'll take some of this, and we'll share. And I just thought that was adorable. Now we can get to your scene. I know you're excited about it.
As we know,
yes.
You guys mentioned, Sheikh's been alone for a majority of his life, or basically all of it.
Yeesh.
And he tells Irfan Khan to Sajan that I have no one coming for my wedding.
Yeesh.
I have no family. I don't have chacha. I don't have daya. I don't have
hurt
anything.
me a little bit.
But she's having puri fauj aa rahi hai.
Yeah.
The whole army's coming for her.
Battalion, the cavalry's been called in.
From her side. And I just wanted to set that up for this as we watch my 5th clip. We can visibly see it, right? It's only Sajan.
I love how there's so many flowers on him, he can barely move.
But right now you can see that it's only Sajan,
Yeah.
therefore Aslam.
So he repeats it.
Wait for it.
Because he thinks they didn't hear his. But there's some miscommunication.
He just gets closer to him.
Yeah, exactly.
Smile, please.
They're still
They
all
can't
not
even
fitting
fit
in. Yeah. I love that scene.
Here's the thing.
Mm.
Visual gag aside, I love what this show.
Visual gag aside.
I love what this shows, that now that the wedding is officially done, because we're taking photos, right?
Yeah.
They're officially wed. Sheikh is no longer alone. Now that he has this entire.
That is true.
Sheikh is no longer alone. Now that he has a whole family with him, he finally has a full family.
Oh.
And that's why it pans.
Oh.
It's to fill the frame that this is everyone
This
that's
is
going
the
to
family.
potentially cares about Sheikh is right here, right now.
That's nice.
And I think
And there's more because it cuts off. Like you said, they're cutting off.
Yeah.
There's so many people now that they can't even fit in the frame.
And
prior to that is what? Is just
It's-
Sajan.
I think that's gorgeous. That's absolutely lovely. And this point just came to my mind as you said this. How you're saying now he's not alone. Sheikh is not alone because he has I think this is also the first time, or not the first time, outside of Ila, because he's never met her.
Yeah.
Sajan is also not alone. Why I say this? Because you know that scene where he mentions, Sheikh mentions that his father-in-law is gifting him a scooter because of his promotion.
Yeah.
His promotion, meaning Irfan Khan's character, is
He's
leaving.
leaving.
And then in the middle, he decides, because maybe he's like, maybe I have a shot with Ila and I have a shot at this companionship or
stay.
this friendship.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to retire, I'm going to stay. And then he realizes he's not, and he decides. So when he mentions to Sheikh at his house, he's like, I might not leave. And he's like,
It's not at his
okay.
house, it's right after this.
Yeah,
I thought another again. I thought, now they're gonna fight. I was ready for a fight.
It was so cute. He was like, just don't tell my father-in-law.
He'll take the scooter
He'll
back.
take the scooter away. But he's like, so he's not saying that
You're taking my opportunity away. You're being selfish.
He is saying that because you were there for me, I'm gonna be there for you. Because he has someone. They both have it. I can't really explain. I'm just getting too excited because it's like they both have someone. And even that scene where he drops off Ila when she comes.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm sorry.
On that same
Bobby."
scooter, by the way.
Yeah, on the same scooter. And he says, I'm sorry. That was sort of like, he understands what's just happened.
What position he took.
And not position he took, but that's true. That's true actually as well. That's really good as well. He understood that him being there means she wasn't able to meet him. But just the fact that he was apologizing for Irfan Khan, for Sajan, he was apologizing, like, he finally has someone. Like he has, I don't know how to.
No, we get it, we
the
get
stupid
it,
thing
we
I'm
get it.
saying?
We
It's
get
just,
it.
it's so cute, man.
That's why I love it. And that's a visual. What I was
Yeah.
talking about, this is visually. If you're not paying attention, they were like, oh, really funny gag.
Yeah.
There's nothing deep about it.
Yeah.
But
But
it
yeah.
shows how much
He's
Sheikh
not
has
alone.
grown.
Yeah.
It shows how much Shazin's grown.
And I love
And
that.
all of the camera is doing is this.
Yeah, I love that.
And that's all it did, but it's so moving.
Yeah.
The frame of his life is filled.
So speaking of cameras moving, let me show you something about a camera not moving at all.
Oh,
So traditionally, we expect to see reaction shots.
right. The phone
Right.
call.
But in neorealism, we're not always privy to that kind of reaction. We're observers.
Yeah.
So this is when Ila gets the phone call.
हेलो आ रही हूँ मामा उसे आ रही हूँ
That's it. That's a 40-second clip of right before she goes to the hospital. The camera doesn't leave this one position. We see in the first 10 seconds she's gone.
Yeah.
For the next 30 seconds, we hear what happens to her, and I feel like not being able to see it makes it significantly more powerful.
Oh yeah. 100%.
Can you play the other scene with her mom?
And here we go. This is 2.5 minutes long, and
Important.
I'll give you my
Because
analysis
I
of
feel like
this
we haven't
later.
touched on Ila enough.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give my analysis of this in a bit,
Yeah.
but let's watch all of it first. The entire thing. Let me just okay.
आज ही आ रहे हूँ मीटिंग में बिजी है वो सीधा शमशान घाट है मुझे बहुत भूख लग रही है पराठे खाने का मन कर रहा है सुबह नाश्ता नहीं किया था मैंने इनके लिए नाश्ता बना रही थी मुझे हमेशा फिक्र लगता था कि इनके जाने के बाद मेरा क्या होगा लेकिन अब सिर्फ भूख लग रही है
Now she has time to think about herself.
The delirium as well.
शुरू में हमारे बीच बहुत प्यार था जब तू पैदा हुई थी लेकिन अब सालों से इनसे घिन आती थी माँ मैं रोज रोज माँ का नाश्ता दवा नहाना नाश्ता दवा
Yeah.
नहाना तेरे भाई के वक्त वो लाल बत्ती वाली एम्बुलेंस आई थी याद है वो पुरानी मैटिडोर आज कौन सी आई थी कौन से रंग की आई थी अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा
That's all I clipped.
So much to unpack here.
A lot.
I can talk from a filmography perspective.
Do you want to do that
I want to
first?
talk from a character point of view first.
Talk to you about your character point
Gin
of
का
view. Tell
मतलब
me.
है ना?
Yeah, yeah,
Disgust.
Yeah. It's disgust, revolt, and all that.
Right.
And this, you mentioned delirium. Yeah, delirium comes, but delirium becomes more evident in the ambulance conversation.
Mm-hmm.
the point of that nashta wala conversation was that I have spent my entire life putting my own needs, wants, and basic, ख्याल रखना अपने आप को aside for him. Now we used to think, oh, after him, I'll never be able to survive. But the only thing now she can think about is, now I have time to think about
Myself.
how I have deprived myself of myself. How I have not taken care of myself at all. अब सिर्फ भूख लग रही है. अब कोई मेरे लिए कोई खाना बना दे. मैं भी थक गई हूँ. Right? And it is that at that point when she starts talking about the monotonous routine of putting oneself aside and taking care of somebody who doesn't even love you anymore, right? And Ila feels that's gonna be my future. And that there was this, at one point there was a discussion about a woman who jumped off a building with her
That
daughter.
was
Right in the
actually a
beginning
very
of the film.
interesting thing.
And you see that way she does it with her daughter as well.
And she,
She takes off the jewelry.
that was imagination, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
she takes the jewelry off and I thought, oh no.
Now it's her turn. She's
no.
gonna.
And then she goes, no, I sold it to go to Bhutan.
But
I couldn't have handled that if it let it
Right,
happen.
and but the significance of that, she's basically breaking the chains that she is tied onto to emancipate herself. And she watches her daughter go and she's like, I'll make sure she doesn't have the life that my brother had. And there's another point which I'm going to jump a bit, but when Sajjan, I think, says that if we don't tell our stories to people, then they stop being real or something
That's
like
the
that.
end
right?
of the painter scene, yeah.
Right. And that's what compels Ila to go and tell her daughter about how she lived as a child.
Yeah, right.
बचपन में हम ये खेलते थे. To remember her brother. Because she feels like if I don't tell about my brother and what I did with him, then
His memory will never
his
move
memory
on.
will never be on. He'll be forgotten, gone, like he never existed. And there were two types of emancipations. One's the hopeless emancipation, which that woman did with her child, jumped off the building.
Yeah.
Right? Her emancipation is more hopeful.
Go to
And
Bhutan.
honestly speaking, had she not got in touch with Sajjan, she would have jumped off the building.
She would have been in that same position.
She would have been in the same position. Okay, I'm
Of
stuck.
the woman that took her daughter and
of
jumped.
the woman, and I need to also escape this way, because the only output she has in that situation, okay, oh, this is one way to escape, is this.
Is death.
But in the other one, when Sajjan says, what if I come to Bhutan with you?
With you.
That takes a joke into a very serious thing. Like she's talking about how my daughter learned about Bhutan in school and, it's ridiculous. And he goes, what if I go to Bhutan with you? And it becomes a real option. And this is also an option I can do. I don't have to kill myself.
Yeah.
And I can take my daughter and I can live freely.
We can live.
And again, like coming to the ending, it doesn't matter if they meet
If
or
they
not,
make it to Bhutan or not.
because Sajjan has more to his life now because of Ila. And Ila has more to her life now because of Sajjan. They are no longer alone. They understand now that companionship does not come just from romance or friendship. Companionship can come from everyone around you. From the person you sit on the train with you. And that's why the ending doesn't matter.
So let me talk about the film aspect of this
Yes,
too.
please.
Yeah.
So in this scene, you saw it cut 3 times. When she first comes in and sees her father. The second time when her
Cut to the mother.
It cuts to her mother in an outburst saying, I'm really hungry. The third time when she asks what
About
kind
the
of lights.
ambulance.
Each time there's a cut. Understand that the whole time in a regular film or a different film than this, you would see as the mother's talking, it will always be on her. And how that doesn't matter right now is because you're in as much of a shock as Ila is.
From hearing this.
From hearing this, she doesn't. Right now, she's not understanding. But every time she's snapped out of her shell shock, it cuts to her mom. Seeing her dead father right in the beginning puts her in a shell shock. Because, okay, now I'm actually facing the fact that she's dead. He's dead. But my mom is going through it right now. But I'm with her. But it's hard to focus. So first time she re-enters the conversation, it cuts back to her. We see her face. That I'm really hungry right now. But then as she consoles her first, and then she slips back into the shell shock. It recuts to her when asking what color lights were there. And but the thing is, she doesn't ask once; she asks twice for her to come back in. And then she responds, "It was a white with blue lights." And that's why I love that scene so much. It's the fact that traditional film, it's a shot reverse shot. You have one person talking and the camera's on them. The other person's talking and the camera's on them. It'll go back and forth. But not in something like this.
In this situation, the person who's talking, the camera's not on them.
Exactly. Because it doesn't matter what they're saying. Right now, our main character is going through something terrible and they're emoting with their face so well.
The micro expressions matter because
It's
in that
so
moment you
beautiful.
realize the exact thinking she's going through.
Exactly. You
When
can
the mom's
see her
talking
going
about
through it.
Again, bath, drugs, and
Right. 2.5 minutes, by the way, and it cuts 3 times. And those cuts don't even last that long. Total of 5 seconds.
And I think this movie does. It's a great sort of shout out to the fact that a lot of South Asian women, or women
Sacrifice
in general,
their lives.
a lot of women in general, not just South Asian. It's a woman thing where a lot of them often sacrifice their lives, their personal freedoms, their personal choices for
and their
the family.
breakfasts.
and the breakfast
No, it's
for,
true. It's
for the
honestly true.
family. But another thing is, I also like how the movie portrays 2 very different ways of two different marriages and 2 different ways of being the caretaker. So I'm not talking about Ela. I'm talking about Ela's mother. I'm talking about the auntie
Upstairs.
because Ela's mother is constantly in the state of, we don't have money for medicine and we need to sell this. Okay. And then the auntie upstairs is not being sad about it. She's like,
found
oh,
happiness in her life.
She's like, oh, you weren't home. Don't worry. I ordered diapers from the market from husband. Oh, the fan,
I cleaned it
the
when it
fan
was
is
working.
important. The fan I cleaned while it was moving. Or we got a generator specifically for the fan. She's also not super rich, by the way. That I'm assuming this auntie is not.
But
rich.
she's still happy.
But she is happier at her caretaking responsibilities than Ela's mother. Ela's mother probably developed that gin from whatever issues she had. Because again,
Take Ela's mother, right? She doesn't have anyone. But auntie upstairs has
has
Ela
Ela.
downstairs.
That's another companionship.
Oh, that's great, companionship.
Another companionship. Oh,
That's a
wow.
great point.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
That's why her mom is so depressed, right?
Yeah.
Because she's at that point because she's never had.
She even says, if I had a son.
If her son
And
was still
that
alive.
is another thing. It's a third, because my mom pointed this out, because I was watching this movie with my mom. She's like, it just goes to show the helplessness of daughters in South Asian society. Or in the subcontinent, where even if the woman, so here Ela is a very typical housewife. She is financially dependent on her husband.
Yeah.
But even in a lot of, this is from personal knowledge and experience, even a lot of women who are financially independent, they work
Stable,
themselves. They're like the older generation, so their parents are never going to consider them the same as their sons, and they're always going to put it down as, no, we can't take money from you. Yeah, we can't know you. Please, it's our boy's job. It's a lot like a lot of women. They will be like, no, please let us help you. We have the money to help you, and they just
This concept is represented really well in the film.
it is.
It represented super well.
And my issue with mainstream Bollywood or mainstream Lollywood or mainstream anything is it's never actually showing you what life is like.
Yeah.
It'll show you little glimpses of it. And that's where you get like little emotions. You're like, oh my, but it's never actually showing you this is what, it's always showing you this, the glitz and glamour and the this and the that and all
then
that stuff.
you're coming to realize why I love neo-realism so much.
I mean, this is not something you want to like
Consume all the
relax
time,
with.
yeah.
This is a movie you watch once, you really absorb it, and you
Ponder on it.
ponder on it. It's not something
It changes you.
It's fundamentally, and I feel like that's all art.
Yeah.
So long as it makes you feel something,
Makes you think.
it makes you think, it makes you
100%.
feel something on a deeper level.
Oh yeah,
It's always a success.
that's true.
100%.
Okay, and I don't think I have anything else. I just wanted to have this one more image of neorealism. When I say they're one cog in a big machine,
Yeah.
you see Irfan Khan's character
Yeah.
like right now blocked by a bajillion people.
But he's still standing out.
He stands out. You see that he's doing something.
Yeah.
But this guy in the red shirt has a whole story behind him. This guy looking directly into the camera. He might be an actual dabbawala. And and he's looking directly in. These people that are helping him are also part of the same machinery, and they all have their own stories.
Yeah.
This film is part documentary, I believe, and part film,
100%.
and part I guess narrative film.
Sajjan would never have sat in the dabba with all these guys.
Exactly, because he's always been first class.
Yeah.
He's always, and that's
But at the
that's
end
why
he
Sheikh
sits with
bought
them.
that, and that's why
Because he
Sheikh bought that
understands
first
they're all
class
Look,
ticket.
even
human.
Sheikh says, the first time I sat with you, I didn't have a ticket for first class.
So that thing na ke, there is also a class commentary here
Oh,
with
100%.
Sheikh is not that different from me just because he couldn't afford a first class ticket.
Right.
I shouldn't have to have these guys come to me through means of that. I can just sit with them.
Sit with them. Okay, so here we are at the end of our podcast. Very productive.
Lovely film.
So I'm going to ask the same thing as I do every time.
Yes, sir.
What can, okay, now from a filmmaker's perspective, from watching this film, what can you take away?
It's the same thing. They didn't have to over-explain anything. I mean, for us, it was a lot easier because we are South Asian, so a lot of the culture hits naturally. Like, we understand the little commentaries and But even if you're someone who's not a Desi, I think a lot of these things you will understand. The world is it's such a global world at this point. You will sort of understand. But that's the whole point. I don't like lazy exposition. I mean, again, this movie didn't need it, but like, this
exposition dumps, move away from that.
Yeah.
Let people figure it out through the natural course of the film, right? And then, like, we're not all idiots. Some of us are, maybe, but treat us as adults. Treat us like smart individuals, and this movie did. I didn't feel like your whole thing. You're just along for the ride. Yeah. And that's it. You just buckle in, you get in.
Be there with them for this time.
Yeah.
What about you, Mahir? What do you think?
I think this is something because I stressed on this. I stressed on this a lot, which is the this is just a preference. This isn't everyone should do this.
Right.
This is my preference, and I feel these make for better stories. And it's when you have a character-driven plot, not a plot-driven character.
Oh, okay.
Right. To me, they tap into neorealism because we are all doing things of our own accord.
Right.
Nobody's making us do them. There's no script we're following. There's no plot.
I mean, there's a bit of a script, right?
Okay. But, like, we make our choices and we face the consequences of our choices, good or bad. The situations we create them, quite frankly. And we got to deal with it. We can't blame it on, the plot demanded it. Why characters behave out of character, it doesn't make sense for them to do it. A lot of the times in plot-driven character stories, people will say, well, why didn't the character just do this?
Right.
You don't have those questions here.
You don't because you...
At what point did you ask, why didn't he just do that?
Why did they do that?
Because everything they do makes sense for that character.
At that time, they needed. And on my end, I would say that I guess I'm talking to myself now because this is heavy inspiration to actually work on my film. Simply because you watched how the film was made.
Yes.
It's not some elaborate setup of lights or a setup of like some insane level.
Yeah, it's not a stage or all that.
Exactly. It's a lot of the times it's like someone's house or someone's office. And like a lot of the documentary stuff is like one guy gunning it with a single camera trying to get as much as Mumbai impossible. So take inspiration from that fact. And I'm looking at my own camera because I'm trying to tell myself this. Take inspiration from that fact that it's pretty possible to make your own film. It doesn't have to be some...
Verani coming soon.
Yep, inshallah. Yeah, it doesn't have to be some grand adventure or some grand elaborate scheme.
Yeah.
It can still happen.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Inshallah.
Yeah.
All right.
What are we doing next week?
I don't know. You guys. This is my veto film.
Do we do the...
Wheel of Names. Spin the wheel.
Spin that wheel.
It's Frank. It's Frank.
Oh, it's Frank 31. What is Frank 31?
Frankenstein from 1931. Okay, everyone. Thank you guys for watching. Next week we'll be watching Frankenstein from 1931. So a classic, an original. It influenced a bunch of cinema. And
you can find the whole thing on YouTube.
Guillermo del Toro would be happy that we actually watched this movie.
Can you say that?
What did he say?
You can find the whole thing on YouTube.
That's fine.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.